I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out.
Hello. We are here on Sunday, March 8th, 2026, and this is episode 86. And we're so happy to be here. We've both been away and we haven't seen each other. We saw each other yesterday.
So, yeah.
We haven't seen each other in a while.
We haven't seen each other since yesterday, but before that, we hadn't seen each other in almost like 3 weeks.
So
that
it feels great to be back in filming and getting back into a routine, hopefully. And we welcome all of you.
Yeah, welcome. It is a beautiful day here. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. The windows are open, so you're going to hear all kinds of noises, but it just feels so good to have that fresh air. And Anna, I just want to compliment you on how awesome your new glasses are.
Why, thank you.
I just saw them yesterday for the first time. They look so good.
They're very different than my previous frames, and I'm having a good time with them.
It's fun. It's fun getting new frames, isn't it? Okay, let's get started. What are we going to do in this episode? Let's see. We're going to toast. We have no FFOs.
No.
Such is life. But we have finishes, we have whips, we're going to talk about our plans. Anna's going to get curious about Summer House Stitche Workes. What else are we going to do? We have thumbs up, we have a few shared supplies. I think that's it. So let's get started. We're going to start right away with our toast. And Anna and I are going to toast East Coast Travels. Anna, here's to East Coast Travels.
Here's East Coast Travels.
So you all are probably like, wah, wah, what are you talking about? So we're going to share, both of us have taken East Coast trips since the last time we saw you, and we're just going to share 3 little memories from the trip. So I was gone for a good solid 2 weeks plus a day or two. It was fantastic. I spent the first week and a half in the Hudson Valley of New York visiting our younger son's family and 2 granddaughters there. So memorable, number one, is just getting to spend over a week and a half with those girls and really the whole family. I just love when I'm visiting just to be part of their regular life, help wherever I can, so that when I go home, like if they say, oh, we walked, to kindergarten today, I'm like, I know that walk. Or, oh, we were over at so-and-so's house. I know that house. So it kind of helps keep them alive for me. No, that sounds really bad, but it keeps them fresh. Plus, it is so fun spending time with them. We also, what was I going to say? When I go to visit them, I like to take a few little gifts, and then maybe every 3 or 4 days, I just leave it at their places for breakfast. So it might be a little craft. I brought these little stuffy finger puppets. But one thing I brought them was this book. It was called Oris and Timble, The Beginning. And I'll put a picture of it right here. It was just a little half chapter book, lots of great photos. It ended up being, we read that book 2 to 4 times every day. It was so fantastic. So if you have a small, and these kids are in the 3 to 5 range, if you have anybody in that range, I highly recommend the book for you. It's the first in a series of 3. Okay, that was my thing number 1, really memorable. Thing number 2 is we got so much snow. As a California girl, snow is exciting. I know it's a big hassle for a lot of you, but we got where we were in New York, the streets were plowed even the morning we woke up to that big storm, and we got 1.5 foot of snow, and going out in the snow and shoveling snow and walking in snow. So fun. So snow, super memorable. And then the third thing that was memorable for me is that I met up with our older sister Joan, and we did more research and adventure in our matrilineal line in sort of southeastern Pennsylvania, sort of around the Allentown, the Pennsylvania German area. Oh, we had so much fun. And we found more. So for us, we now can go back from us 9 generations. Our earliest ancestor that we can trace, she was born in the Alsace-Lorraine area, sort of French-German area, 1720. And we know what boat she came over, landed in Philadelphia in 1754, and we actually found her gravestone. So here's a picture of Joan and me with Maria's gravestone. So that was just like super exciting. And also, again, like I'm doing this project about our matrilineal line. So exciting to like continue to learn more about these women. And this is the first one I'm working on. And her name is Elmina Schindel Trexler. So here's my progress on this. I have her birth and death dates on there. Here's a picture of her gravestone. And there'll be more, these are gonna be hexagons, so here's my design. I still have doodahs to add up here and down here. And I've gotten a few things now. I've got this plexiglass hexagon.
Smart.
So actually, if you wanna hold that up, Anna. So as I'm working, you know, I can be putting my hexagon, and then once I'm ready to finish it up, I'll be able to use this to square it up. And then I also have these are 3-inch hexagons, and then I've got a bunch of paper templates so that as I'm done as paper piecing, I can baste each hexagon on the
Okay,
paper.
so you won't need to add seam allowance, or you will need to add seam allowance when you cut it out?
Oh, this is no seam allowance. So this will show me my actual size, and I'll probably just use one of those pens that goes away, you know what I mean? And trace it around, and then I can center this on there and baste it on. So really excited. I'll probably finish the doodahs in the next couple of days. So and it was so fun. I mean, Anna's very interested in this, but our sister Joan, we just got so into it. As you know, with anything, if you have a partner,
that's right,
to get into things with, it makes it doubly fun. So, and our brains just think so differently. So we just collaborated great, and we're on a roll.
Smarter together than apart.
Hey, that's it. I mean, sometimes like if you have different working styles, you can conflict, you know what I mean? We just, at the end, we're like, oh my gosh, we learned so much more. We would never have been able to do this on our own. So that was really fun. So that was I spent my last 4.5 days with that, and then came home. So that was my trip, my memorable items. Yeah, it was awesome. How about you, Anna?
So I spent some time with my daughter and her family, and our sister Joan and her family, including her kids and their families. And similarly, you can't help but be struck by the snow on the East Coast. So it was such an interesting experience for me to take my grandchild to the park, and the playground just had a ton of snow on it still. So it's so strange to be on a slide and sort of slipping and sliding around the play structure to get up to and then sliding down into it was just a really I took a few photos because I was like, this is cool. But of course they were a little bit sick of it by then because it was two weeks old or something, and the snow was still at the park. Several memories of just big dinner time meals with lots of people around the table. I really like a dinner time where people linger and there's lots of conversation and maybe a bottle of wine, and just really, really enjoyed a couple of big dinners. And then I like taking the DC Metro. And I took the Metro from the airport. I took the Metro to the train station, took a grandchild to Smithsonian on the Metro. And it makes me feel like I can do anything.
And is their house walkable to the Metro from their end? Okay, that's so nice. That's so nice. Yeah.
So it's the first time I had rolled a suitcase from a Metro station to the house, and I wasn't sure if that would be a good experience, but it was fine. So fine.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So travels.
We have a lot of people we love on the East Coast.
Yeah,
so
it's great. And we're back. Okay,
Carolyn, what are you wearing?
Yes, okay. I showed this last time. It didn't have the buttons on it. This is the Noctura cardigan. And since the last time I got my buttons and I sewed them on, they were on in time for my trip. And this is already a staple in my wardrobe. It has a great, I don't know if you can see that braid coming up on, look at my underarm. That braid coming up my underarm. It's like
Side
great
seam.
length. It's, oh yeah, up the side seam. I love it.
It looks great.
Thanks. And as we talked about, the wool bloomed. It's very nice and sort of a light weight, but still a wool sweater. In fact, it's kind of warm today and I'm still like super comfortable with it. So very happy with this addition to my sweater wardrobe.
Great.
All right. So finished objects. This is something I was working on last time. I'm participating in the 12 in 12 ornament challenge. So every month I'm stitching an ornament and FFOing an ornament, and they may not be the same ornament. So last time in February, we saw our last video saw my FFO, which was reindeer games. And my February stitched was from the Prairie Schooler Nordic holiday, and I did the houses. So here is my finished houses.
Oh, I want that fully finished.
I know. So I'm going to this will be my March fully finished. So probably what's going to happen is whatever I finished in 1 month will be fully finished in the next month. So I'll kind of be leapfrogging along the way. And for this, I used 2 Roxy Floss. I used the red as lipstick and the green is Bow Down. And the linen is Cloister Cream. It's 38 count Cloister Cream by Legacy Linen. I just love that.
It's funny, the start of your next one on the back, the green looks different to me.
Okay, it's so interesting. It's the same one. So then for March,
I'm jumping ahead, sorry.
I started, where is it? The Scandinavian horse.
Everybody loves that one.
Everybody loves that one. And so here is my progress on that. And I've got the tree and starting the horse. And Anna was just saying the greens look different. Now, because this is a much more concentrated green than's up here, and I don't have a lot of red yet in there. So that is going to be my March ornament. I think I might have 2 in March. We'll see. I thought I was going to have 2 in February, but really, to be honest, during traveling time, just with everything going on, I crafted very little.
Same.
Okay. So that's that. Okay. Let's go on into works in progress. All right, I have made some really good progress with Oh Joyous Day. This is the one that I've been really focusing on for my idea of perseverance. And I've continued, not when I was on vacation, not when I was traveling, but I get up every morning, I do not snooze, and then I give myself 30 minutes of time in my, I do not snooze. That alarm goes on.
I brush my teeth.
I brush my teeth, I get dressed, make my tea, and I go in my crafting room for 30 minutes. And I've been focusing on this, and it's incredible how you can make good progress in that 30 minutes. I also decided these bands, I had started them as just alphabet letters, but I ripped them out. And what I did is I picked actually 6 joyous days, and I charted them out, their dates, and those are going in that section. Let me see, I might want to put my board.
I have no idea where my board is. I haven't used it in a really long time. You have to share with me.
So here is my progress on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is looking almost done.
It is. It's going to be done before we know it. It's stitched on 36 count light mocha by Zweigart, and I used the called for over dyed. I'm going to pull it in closer. I've done the first row. You can see those dates, and I'm starting the second row. I'm on the bird. I still have like doodahs and some specialty stitches to do in the top and bottom band. And this middle band.
You say doodahs, I say doodads.
Oh, I like doodahs. It has a lot of alphabets. I am going to say, do the over one, and instead of Oh Joyous Day, I'm going to say Oh Joyous Days. I'm going to pluralize it. And then, you know, because it's not for just one particular person, I think I'm going to put my initials because they were very joyous days for me, even though they were about other people. But those are the days I felt really joyous. Okay, so there's all these alphabet letters then around here. So do I just do alphabet letters, or do I pull out the initials of the people that are connected to these joyous days?
And like, do you even need anything maybe?
I think it will say, I think I will. Or do I just do more doodahs? So it will say, oh, Joyous Days up here with my initials. The date I finished, 2026, I'm going to put down here. So the alphabet letters were sort of coming in here and coming in there.
What about just doing the alphabet letters?
Well, that's one option. One option is just do the alphabet letters. Maybe I should just do the alphabet letters.
I like them.
Yeah, and not try to, like, really, since this is Oh Joyous Days, talk to really be about the days and not necessarily have to have the initials of the people.
That's what I would vote for.
I think on the back I'll put a little index card or something that explains what all the dates are for.
Now you say we're saving this bird for last. Is it as fun as you thought it was going to be?
Oh yeah, it's really fun.
Okay, good.
I'm getting down to that. I love this turquoise blue. I put it up in the date, but really the only place else in the piece is it's down in the bird, so I can't wait to do that.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Uh-huh. So this felt really good. I felt like I really persevered. And as soon as I put those dates in, this sampler came alive for me.
So that's what gave it meaning.
It gave it meaning, and I'm just realizing how much I'm enjoying documenting dates, people, events, locations in cross stitch.
Right.
And to me, that's really funny because cross stitch is a very ephemeral, like, as we know, these deteriorate, over years, but it feels more permanent to me than just having an online record someplace, even though the online record is probably more permanent. So that's just a good sort of note to self. I really enjoy using these as a, like, sort of historical documentation.
Well, and maybe as things age, that helps us understand the time that has passed. We're on a computer.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't get as much of a sense of that.
Yeah.
Because there's beauty, in an old sampler. There's such beauty in
and even
moth hole or
like
whatever.
Stitching those dates, like each time I was stitching a date, I was thinking about like that joyous day, like what made that day so joyous.
I remember one time I was in my son's classroom and I brought in a quilt that I had made for him, and I said something like, and with every stitch I was thinking about how much I loved him, and that was just like way too much for everybody.
Wait, what grade level
was like, I think it was second grade. So of course the kids probably, and I think the teacher was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Because you might not get it if you're not a crafter.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And here are all the called for. I think probably some of the colors, as we've all talked about before, have probably changed over time from when this design is done. But it is a good palette, and I have
turquoise.
I have my bling. I know, here's this turquoise. And I also love there's a red and 2 pinks you can see in the house and the flowers, and I love those, just really are great combinations. So, oh, joyous day.
I'm glad you're finishing this.
I know.
I love this piece. I might stitch it myself.
I know.
And I know it was one of the things you started early on and you just weren't quite sure about it in the end.
Yeah.
But now it's flipped again.
Yeah, and I think I was always thinking, I wanted to personalize it, and then you kind of get stuck, and then I had stitched those alphabets like without thinking about it in the bands, but you know what? I just sat down one day and I just cut, and ripped them out. I just did it in one sitting, and then I'm like, that's not that bad to do. So that felt really good.
Great. Okay. Oh, I like it a lot.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Anna.
I know we've showed these before, but these Marie Kondo bags from the Container Store. Hi, Becky, of Becky's House of Sewing. I really like them.
What do you like about them?
I just like the little bit of color at the top. And they're just, they're that material that lasts forever, and this is my travel. I use these when I travel a lot.
Yeah, and I like the matte feel of that plastic.
It almost makes me feel like, but not quite.
Yeah.
So let me pull this out. I have a piece of cardboard in here to...
Oh, were you working on this while you were traveling?
Yeah, so this perforated paper is one of my solutions when I'm traveling, and was working a little bit more on this piece. I'm almost done, and I'm even thinking, like, should I just finish it at home or should I finish it on my next trip? So this is Felicidades y Recuerdos from NeedleWorkPress. It's on 14 count perforated paper, and I'm using the Call for Classic Colorworks, one of which is Peapod, which I've heard people talk about how much it's changed and how people don't like it anymore.
Oh,
I love it. I love a yellow green.
Do you think you have the new version or the old version?
Well, I probably have the new version, I would think.
Although you've had this project now a couple of years.
Okay, so maybe I have the old version. I don't know. Anyway, anytime anyone mentions how much they dislike Peapod, it sort of makes me smile, because at least I like the version I have. So this has just been a faithful friend for my East Coast trips. It has words at the bottom, it's the title of the piece. And I can't decide if I want to include them or I want to do some other words. I've really, really enjoyed this project. I'm not particularly attached to it as a finished piece. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
I think you could easily leave them off because it's the border and, it's more like they're coming down in here. You're almost done, Anna.
Yeah, I
have a couple more flowers down here.
No.
Oh, those are leaves. I see.
I think the border's done.
Yeah, the border's done. I thought those were flowers, but those are leaves.
I think I have a few flowers up
there.
Here.
Yeah.
So I might just stitch it to something on my sewing machine and call it a day. I'll probably finish it at home instead of bringing it on the next trip.
Yeah, because you don't really have that much to do. I could see you kind of finishing it as we were finishing the little needle papers where you just have a piece of like wool on the back or something and then you're stitching around it.
Yeah. I sort of like it backed on this craft.
Yeah, because
this piece of cardboard.
The colors are a little bit hard. Let's put it back on the craft. I feel like the colors are a little bit hard to see. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so even if you had like a brownish, whatever piece of wool or whatever you put on the back. Okay, cool.
So I'm a fan of perforated paper.
Yeah. I'll be curious to try. We need to order some of the new paper that's now being manufactured slightly differently. Just see what that's like.
Yeah. What is it made of? I saw it.
I think it's more made out of plastic, but
yes, but it's a particular kind of plastic. Is it Tyvek?
Oh, and because I feel like this perforated paper actually has some plastic in it as well, or something. I don't think it's 100%. Well, I guess paper can be made out of any material, right?
Well, I'm shocked. Yeah, the first time I used perforated paper, I was shocked that it didn't tear and bend.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this has been through a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably super dusty. I probably should wash it.
It would be interesting what happens. Well, I know you can get it wet because I've tea-dyed perforated paper.
Yeah, but now that you say that, I think one time I put so much water on it that it actually, how paper, like a piece of cardboard will sort of fuzz up a little bit. That happened to my perforated paper. All right.
I think I really like the 18 count perforated paper.
I do too, but it only comes in white, right?
Okay. Next this was my January 1st start. And sometimes my January 1st starts, I finish it in the month of January. Other times, I don't care. It's more for me about having a January 1st start than anything else.
Yeah.
And what I did for this one is I have now done 2 of the Evertote Monofoque Embroidery Roxy Floss holiday countdowns. But I do the other 2 that I've missed, I want to go back and do. So this is their very first one, and this was I believe 2022 was their first one, and it was this Frisian band sampler. So I'm stitching it long way, so the 2 panels, and I've gotten up to this, so I'm about to start this panel underneath it. And for my colors, I'm just using all the flosses that came in my 2025. So I'm kind of reusing those. So here is my progress so far. You can see it's going to be a long, narrow one. And here's what I have so far.
Is that a woodpecker?
I think it is a woodpecker. I'm very partial to woodpeckers. We have the ones, they're black and white with the red heads here. That's up here. And what I started at the top, picking 3 colors, and most bands have 3 colors. When I got down to this one, it was more complex, so I added a 4th color and the next one. So I'm not having an issue if I use more than 3 colors. This one, I just felt like it needed 4.
I love the way it looks.
And then what I'm doing is I'll pick a color, and the next band has 1 color from the previous band, and then 2 new colors, 1 color from the previous band. And I was hoping, even if you're not gonna really notice that, but you're gonna feel like cohesion for that. So the next band, which is, I'm loving these geometric bands. The next band is that. It looks like a quilt, it looks like a quilt square. This one right here. And I've picked my palette for that.
I was gonna say, put some pink in there.
I know. What I do is when I go to the next band, I come to my big palette and make my small palette with bling. So this will be my palette. So really teals and these kind of orangey for my next band.
Great.
So I love band samplers because each band to me feels like a start and a finish. And these are very doable. So that's Frisian band sampler. Oh, I think I'm gonna work on that today.
Okay.
I was just telling Anna, I got like all my to-dos done this morning before she came over. So after we film, and it's like midday, yeah, fun is gonna ensue.
Love that feeling. The second thing I worked on is I went back to Elizabeth Stephenson, 1854. So one of the things I really want to explore this year, and I don't expect to finish it this year, but I really want to know what it feels like to work on a very large sampler and to finish it. So for me, it's sort of like the psychology of working on a really big piece is part of my whole exploration. And I do find I have to almost say to myself, don't worry about how much you've done. Just enjoy the motif that you're on, because I've worked many hours on this and the percent of the whole piece that I've done is still very small. It's sort of like when you have 70 tests to write on or something, you look at the whole stack, but you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do a dozen, and then I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm going to do a dozen. I sort of feel like I'm having to do that a little bit. Otherwise, I can feel a little bit like, I am never going to finish this.
Right.
So that has popped into my head a few times. I just wanted to share that. And I am enjoying, again, these little wooden bowls I found at the grocery store at Christmas time. And when I'm working on a motif, I just pull out the colors that I'm working at a time. And one of the ones that I finished, the colors that went together, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be so nice for a Christmas ornament. There are so many pinks and greens in this piece. So when I'm done with this, that's my plan with my leftover 100 threes.
Yeah, but it's fun, isn't it? Just because you're seeing these little sub palettes of little motifs along the way, and that can be really fun. And in some ways, like a bigger piece, thinking, I think for everybody, having a big thing can be overwhelming. But when you think about the little, like, oh, I finished a motif.
Yeah, so maybe this is helping me, like, changing out for my next thing. It just feels good. And I think I was influenced by you too, because you have been talking a lot about sub palettes. But yeah, here we go. So I've reached the center mark on the border.
Really?
Going across.
Oh.
And I worked on, I did this motif and this motif.
Anna, the other thing you just need to keep doing, and in fact, let's put a progress picture of where you were last time. I'm gonna put this down for a second because we're gonna put it here. Okay, because I think that's also a really good thing, is to, every time we film, go back and see where were you last time.
I'm loving every minute.
Oh, I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hold it up.
So I'm starting this middle. There's a real ghosty bird right here. This is the middle motif right here.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be, when I return to it, that's what I will work on.
So it is so big. Like,
I know.
Even
this is 40 Count Caramel by Seraphim.
Like, will it go all the way down?
I don't think so. I think I decided not to trim it quite yet because I didn't really feel the need for it.
Okay, and if you're at your halfway point.
Yeah, so if you fold the fabric in half,
it's about right, isn't it?
This is the halfway point.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, about a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to have, 8 inches at the bottom. But I'm just going to point to the motif that I want, under my index finger. So it's going to be a fun one.
Okay, I can start to see the birds here when I take a closer look at it. Just going to get this up close. Wow. It is going to be spectacular.
I really feel like I chose well for me. I mean, I really, really, really like this sampler. I think I've mentioned before, I think I not only don't need words or houses, but I prefer samplers without them. Not that I'm never going to stitch a house or never going to stitch words or anything, but it's just the colors and the motifs on this. And I can't, that grass down at the bottom is going to be super, super fun.
Yeah. And that tree in the middle. It feels like everything's like coming down and falling around the tree.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the 2 little dogs. That's really cool.
So I'm working sort of in a triangle like this. It's my preference for something like this.
But you start, you start at the top right corner.
Right. Was I on the opposite?
No, I
corner?
think you're doing it correct.
Okay. I think I just find the way I hold, because I stitch in hand, and the way I hold my fabric, if I stitch like that, I don't scrunch stuff that I've stitched.
I do the same thing. I start top right and work down.
Well, I think when I first started starting at the top right, I went all the way down and worked over, which I think also works, but somehow it seems more natural to me. I don't know, maybe it's my years of needle pointing. That's how
as you say, your Wi-Fi.
Myself. Yeah, my Wi-Fi symbol.
Oh, Anna, this is really fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. But you do see, people that have finished large pieces, it's really a huge endeavor.
Yeah. And I don't mind working hard on something. I don't mind putting focus on something. I don't want the feeling of I've got to finish this by this date or else.
Right.
I don't want to rush.
Right.
So I want to keep going.
Right.
I wasn't sure, because I'm working on a couple of big samplers, whether I would work on this every 4 months or something, but I think I'm going to touch it most months or at least every other month, because this is, I think, my primary big piece for the year.
Yeah. Oh, really, really incredible.
We'll see where we are in December.
Okay, does anybody else get that feeling, even this part of the process, you're like, I made this. I started with a piece, it's incredible.
But I'm totally copying Elizabeth.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But just the fact that you can take these really simple materials and then you create this incredible thing.
Yeah. X is for the win.
X is for the win. Okay. My next whip, and this is, I did take this traveling and stitched on it. So anytime I'm out and about, this is my go-to. And this is Arachova Antique from Avlea Folk Embroidery. This was our large project from the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit in 2025. So I can't remember if Krista's released this or not. She's released the small little these. But
because she's on fire. She's releasing a lot.
Krista is on fire. It was so fun. I was telling Anna, I walked into Needle Studio, to get my buttons. I always get my buttons there. It's a little, very beautifully curated shop in Los Altos. And right when I walked in, they have some embroidery, and there was the Krista kit front and center. And I'm like, yes.
It's going to be irresistible for folks.
It's going to be irresistible. I haven't shown my progress. So here is my progress. And this is stitched on 100% cotton traditional ground cloth in natural with the called for DMC. We got it as a kit. Stitched 2/2, and it is 269 wide by 119 high. So as I like to do when I'm working on the infrastructure is so great when you're talking, because you occasionally refer to your pattern and you're off and running. These center motifs take a little bit more thinking.
Right.
So I need to do those when I'm home.
But some zigzags.
Oh, zigzags, some straight line stitching. I'll say I love stitching on this cloth. I cannot wait to have a functional piece. I'm going to definitely use this as a table runner, a functioning table runner.
You have
it can be washed, everything. I'm still not a fan of stitching with 2 threads, but it's worth it. And I understand probably to get a bigger design, you do want a smaller count, it's fine. A smaller number, larger hole stitch. So love her kits.
I can start to imagine now really how big it's gonna be and what it's gonna look like. You've done enough now.
I know, I kind of want to finish this next. There's a third one over here, just to have that. I have another kit, Blue Larkspur, that I've started because some other friends have started it. But I probably won't stitch a whole lot on that. I kind of want to finish. I'll probably always have one Krista thing going, one Avlea Folk Embroidery thing going at a time. So if you're not aware of her, I highly recommend. In fact, I pulled this out when Joan and I were on our trip, and Joan looks at this and she goes, oh my gosh. And then I showed her some more of Krista's, and she was like, this is what I really want to stitch. And you can totally see it. I think she really liked that it's functional. She loved the geometric design. And Krista's kits are so fantastic. They come, with all your DMC. What I did is I put it was 2 things. I put them on floss drops, and then when I need a color, I take a whole chunk of the DMC, what is it, 6 strands. And then I just put that on these little pallets, and then I'll pull my single strand and double it from this little pallet. And that has worked
That's
really
a pretty
well.
floss card.
Yeah, I forget where I got that.
I see. So fun.
Yeah, so that has worked. That's worked really well. So same thing, like if you're out and about, I just have this, so I just have to pull a little.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not pulling big stuff out of here and then having to divide it further. And this is a beautiful bag. Hi, Becky's House of Sewing. Thank you, Becky.
Love her bags.
Okay. Have you started your Avlea one for the retreat?
Yeah. I started at the retreat.
We were on a Zoom call yesterday, and I have a needle halfway because it's also a good Zoom project. Okay.
Got a little knitting for us?
My last one's knitting. Also, when I travel, I love having, I call them just no-brainer knitting projects. So I started one, this is called the Clyde shawl, and I'm going to show you the pattern right here, pattern picture. And the designer is Isabel Kramer. And I love this pattern because I love that it has the 2 small shawls, and you can knit both with the yarn that you get. And I'm using a wool yarn that has a tiny bit of cashmere in it. And this yarn is So Kosho by Ito Yarn. It just comes on these. And here I'm making the striped one, which is the Claude. It's called Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, Clyde. And I'm past my halfway point. So you first increase, decrease, decrease. So as you can see, it's very no-brainer. So I cast this on. I got the yarn at a really nice knitting store I like in Cold Spring, New York, called The Endless Skein. And I got some more yarn that I'll show you later in our shared supplies. And just cast this on right away and was knitting on it.
So how wide will it be at its widest?
At the widest point, I still have to block it open, but it's...
Oh, you have hit.
I've hit the widest point.
So okay, so it's going to be like one of those little like
it's
bandana
a little
kind of style.
Yeah, and when you see the picture, it just kind of wraps around once in a little bandana, and that's why you can then reverse it. The second one has this one as the background color, and this is your accent. So if you want to make both, I'll see if I made this a little bit longer than the pattern, so I may not have enough yarn to do both.
Why did you choose to make it longer?
Because I have another little one. It's the Sophie scarf that's not quite long enough, and I kind of can tie it, but it's a little bit like, oh. So this one I'm like, I'm gonna make it a little bit longer for that. Okay, so that is my knitting.
All right, we're going to move into our plans, and we have a couple of sections here because we mentioned WIPCO. Was it our last video or 2 videos ago? And we're like, I don't know, it keeps popping in my head. And my vision of a WIPCO board this year would be not so much putting a lot of my pieces on, because I already love my plan for the year for my cross-stitch pieces, but sort of things related to crafting or things related to cross-stitching for my WIPCO. So I have not made my board, but I have this running list on my phone of things, so I'll share a few of those.
Okay, so are you gonna make a board, or so don't look at the numbers then, or
I'll just try to keep them out of my head. Don't worry too much about that.
So my planner from Sterling Ink, which I love, I made my WIPCO board, and I marked, because we missed January and February, I marked those first and then filled out my board and then looked at the March calls, which are 3 and 4. I might be a little controversial, but I lay mine out as a bingo board. Doesn't really matter. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do my numbers this way. She does her numbers that way. Doesn't matter. Mathematically, 13 is in the middle. 13 is like the free space. In the month they call 13. She calls 2 more. But my 13, last time I played WIPCO, same thing. It's get ice cream with Anna. So
I know exactly where we're going. I know exactly what our order is.
Getting that waffle cone, chocolate dip waffle cone.
With that mint ice cream.
And I just sort of the same thing. Like I have some things, but like for example, one is send stitchy kindness to someone. So I try to just pick something or explore a new to me designer is one. I have started JetX stitch project, something I wanted to do. Finish a whip, go on an inspirational fiber outing. So I tried to like mix and match. The same thing, because I don't think I have a problem. It's not a problem. I don't think I need encouragement to keep going on whips. I did put a few whips in there, or a few starts, but some of it's just like fun stuff. And my March calls were work on an artsy housewife whip for 7 days. Nice. That is not going to be a problem at all. And the other one was frame something using a floating frame. So I did that 3 years ago. I've framed one thing with a floating frame, and I want to return to that idea.
You've got a nice challenge here for your first pick.
I'm going to try a different vendor. That we have a beautiful artist friend. She's beautiful in many ways, and she recommends a place to get floating frames. She gets them, then she frames herself. That was a lot less expensive than the one I got. So I'm going to try. So that's going to be a big challenge, that March one. That one might end up bleeding into a couple of months, depending on order time and things like that. So I'm really excited to do WIPCO. Do you want to also do our little cash thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. The year we did it, if we did, every time we finished a WIPCO thing, we put a little cash in a jar. Do you still have that jar? Otherwise we'll get another
It's actually the jar I use for my salad dressing. I have several of them. So yeah, we can pluck one out. We can pluck a salad dressing jar out.
And then that year, at the end of the year, we had enough cash. We went up and stayed at this hotel we love in the Presidio and had a little mini stitching retreat, and we used that money for the hotel.
Gorgeous.
Did we stay 2 nights?
No.
We stayed 1 night.
We stretched it though. Remember, we got up a little early and went for a long walk.
That's right.
And then we were able to check in.
Yeah.
And then we stitched until like 5 minutes before checkout.
Yeah. It would be fun to try 2 nights.
We've been out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We might have to up our ante.
You know what? I'm also going to put in a little cash every time I do my 12 and 12 ornament challenge.
Okay, so maybe I should do something similar, like every 2 baskets or something.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm happy if our contributions are not exactly equal.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is something fun. We both like this. We both like sort of saving towards things, and then they feel sort of like they're free when you do them.
Yeah.
So maybe that was our growing up style.
And I like, because we physically put cash in there, and then
we're like counting out the 20s.
Going to pay the hotel, like, okay, here's our 10. But it felt free, and every month it wasn't a lot, but it just really adds up when both of us were putting in. And I think that year we actually did all of our WIPCOs. Or very close.
Yes.
Very close.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, more plans. What are your other plans?
Well, I'll just share a few of things on my list.
Sorry, yeah.
Some of the things that have popped in my head is buy a project bag. I love making project bags myself, so sometimes when I see them online, I admire them, but think like, oh, I'm just going to make my project bags. But I'm going to buy one from somebody. Spend some time with a craft book. I have a couple of books that even, I have one quilting book that I received for Christmas and haven't really poured over it yet. Craft with a sister or a friend. Again, I like having people over. You can invite someone over. And then learn how to make a strawberry, as in like fully finish a stuffed strawberry. So those are some things on my list.
Let's say you get that learn to make a strawberry. Are you going to stitch a strawberry?
I guess I'll have to.
Yeah. You might want to get one kind of in the queue.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Well, why don't we do yours first? We'll flip back and forth.
Well, do yours first, because I didn't realize until I looked at yours that I also...
Okay. All right. So for other plans for the next couple of weeks in March, I explored Not Forgotten Farm last year and started Rabbit Warren.
I love this one, Anna.
And don't you think this is a good time to finish it?
It sure is a good time to finish it.
Because look at it. Like, I almost want to use a cuss word. Like a few flowers and some bunny tails.
I know.
Get on it, girl.
Here, you want to use the cuss word and then I'll see if I can bleep you out?
Yeah, it's okay.
Get those bunny tails on, girl.
I know. And they're so cute.
So
French knot bunny tails.
This is so dang cute.
Yeah, I love it.
Those rabbits.
So I want to finish the bunnies. I want to...
Are you going to totally FFO it or just finish it?
I should say fully finish.
Yeah.
Or maybe I finish the bunnies before our next and then FFO it. So I do celebrate Easter, so maybe before Easter it can be in a little dough bowl with some of our sister's eggs.
And you can
from her chickens.
Are you going to do Easter lunch again?
Okay, I need to text that. I didn't want to do that before the birthday.
Anna makes a fantastic Easter lunch. And for some reason, we didn't do it last year. I feel like the last couple of years, either you were gone, and then I think one year you had it, but we were gone. I feel like I'm missing it.
Last year, I think I was coming back the night before or something. I think it was Baby R.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so I want to get out a present for a friend. This is one of my large samplers I would like to make some progress on. And I had to bring my huge project bag because it gives us a giggle. The 103s are in there. And this is a piece that only has 3 colors, and I love it every time I look at it. So do a few motifs on this. I hope to do that and show you all next video.
This bag too it feels really good. It's a nice cotton. It's by Dana Herbert, Portland, Oregon. Do you remember did you get this at a store?
I think I got it. I maybe even got it at a coffee shop down in at the Central Coast. So I think somewhere in California, and one like a gifty.
Oh, so you didn't get it in Portland?
I don't think so.
Well, look how good this looks on my sweater.
Oh wow.
Good.
And then I'm very excited. This will probably happen before we film next. We are going to start a Stitch Along, a SAL for Fancy Tulip by Exemplars from the Heart. And we're going to start it on the spring equinox. So March 20th, somewhere around there. We're going to start. Feel free to join. I looked around. I think this chart may be hard to find. We got ours on Hillside Rookery. I don't see any more left on Hillside Rookery's site right now, but she carries a lot of exemplars from the heart. So if you want to join and you have a hard time finding this, pick another exemplar from the heart, or pick something that has like a big flower bouquet or maybe something related, and let us know.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Just kind of open it up by like not being like you must.
Yeah. And I think the exemplar of the heart, she's older designer, not that she, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And Olivia of Hillside Rookery really has a beautiful curated collection of her things. So I love that idea.
As in, like, I want at least 6 more.
Yeah.
Kind of
so
situation.
that's a cool idea. If we're out of the tulips, pick something else by her, or pick something else with the tulips.
So when we're saying her, the designer's name is Vilma C. Becklin, and this particular chart has a copyright of 2009.
Yeah. I love when you look down and her contact information is a physical address and phone number, not a website, which always helps date. And
I really appreciate Vilma. We can say Vilma now. Her aesthetic, and this one in particular.
It's beautiful.
Big flower. So I think I'm going to do a center start, people.
You're digging right into that.
I'm going to go right into that flower.
Do you? And did you get you might have said this. Did you get the Vicki Clayton silk?
I did. She has a silk pack for it. I did not bring it here today. And I'm hearing some other folks playing with color, and then I'm like,
I know.
Maybe I should have done that. Anyway, I have a silk pack. I'm going to at least start it with the silk pack.
Good.
Your plans, Carolyn?
Yeah. Okay. So I was reading the episode note because I'm all on board this, and I have my pattern, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. We're starting in March. Like March really snuck up. I think because I was traveling for such a long time.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks.
So I
need to pick what I want to do. Do I want to use the DMC? Do I want to do my own color palette? What I sometimes like to do is go get the DMC and then sort of see what do I like, and then maybe if I tweak it or take it and maybe I'll convert it to like Roxy Floss or overdyed cottons or something.
On this pattern, the Vicki Clayton silks and DMC.
And the DMC are so I'm really excited. In fact, I might pull that out today.
Should we go to Michael's after the film?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute, all my to-dos are done.
I'd love to do that.
Let's go to Michael's.
Ice cream cone too.
No, we gotta wait till 13. In fact, if Anna and I go to Michael's, I'll just put a picture right here of the DMC that we get for that. Okay, so that for sure. I'm gonna do my March band of Modern Folk Embroidery's Little Acorns Sal.
Okay.
That I've done my January, I've done my February, March. I'm gonna do that, so I need to get started. I think I have here that I want to finish Oh Joyous Day, but I'm not gonna be frantic about it. I'm just gonna keep. In fact, I'll probably just keep working on it as my my morning routine, my 7 a.m.
And then if you get
routine.
this close, maybe you can work on it on an evening too.
Yeah,
during the evening.
And then I also want to keep up with my March 12 and 12 ornaments challenge. I've really enjoyed that a lot, and I like stitching them. I've enjoyed FFOing them, so I just want to keep that momentum.
I'm gonna try that one year. Very attractive.
Yeah. And then that fancy tulip, that'll be my big new start. Okay, I'm getting really excited for that.
I can't wait. I received it for Christmas, and I wanted to start it right then and there. And
you had good willpower.
I know, but I'm all set.
Good.
Got my legacy linen ready.
I can't believe the spring equinox is almost here. Okay, this morning was when our time at least where we are, our time went spring forward. So it's like my alarm went off at 7 and I'm like, God, it feels dark out. I'd totally forgotten about it. And I get out and my husband's like, hey, guess what? It's really 6 a.m. So, but this is the time of year where it's getting, time is changing faster. I mean, light is changing faster. Love it.
One of my ideas for the Sal is, wouldn't it be fun for during every equinox or solstice that we each post our progress at those times?
Good.
Love it. You're like,
no, I love it. I thought you were going to say every equinox or solstice we start a new project.
oh, we could do that too.
But I'm in. Yeah, I'm in.
All right, we do have a We're Curious section today, partly because I have admired many Summer House Stitche Work patterns through the years. Now I can say that now that's been 5 or 6 years. But I haven't really, as I'm getting to know designers a little bit, like hearing about their process or hearing them speak or meeting them, or we had our retreat last fall, we got to hear from 2 designers. I got curious, like who is behind Summer House Stitche Workes and why is it that I like her patterns? And so do we want to show any images or should I just...
Yeah, let's show some images.
So I want to show Carolyn as I talk, which is the tab. I just took us away.
You're right here.
No, back to our notes.
Oh, it's just the one next to it.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I had to sort of summarize why I'm attracted to her patterns is anything with repeated geometric shapes, and particularly when there's a woven coverlet look to it, I just really, really, really like that look. I also like that minimalist look or Pennsylvania German look, and as I was looking through her catalog, she mentions Pennsylvania German specifically. And even though I don't usually stitch a series, she has been so consistent about having her these series, often called Fragments in Time, that I was just sort of intrigued by it. So in terms of the repeated geometrics or the...
I have like a zillion tabs open in my browser.
I'm just going to try to show Carolyn something. Well, here's one of her ones coming out at market. It has to do with Declaration Independence.
Okay, we'll put
Declaration
a picture.
Coverlets. And Scarlet House and a few other designers have this style thing. I'm really attracted to it. Whether I'd stitch that exact one, I don't know, but I like that look. And the minimalist Pennsylvania German.
Yeah, you can exit out of that one.
Let me show you one. Like this $17.99 work basket.
There it is. There it is. I know. And I saw that too. She had several round things like that. And she actually was mentioning...
Would that be a pretty Christmas, wouldn't it?
Beautiful. I mean, we'll have it here. Anna will talk about this in a minute, but we both listened to a podcast where she was interviewed and she's talking about how Pennsylvania German has a lot of verticality in its motifs. I thought that was really interesting.
Right, because one of the Fragment in Time series she talks about at this interview is the 2022 Fragments in Time, which were based on Susquehanna Valley samplers. And Carolyn and I happen to have gone to college in that area. And again, it's pretty close to where our matrilineal folks are or lived. So we're just really drawn to that. So I might try a couple of those Fragments in Time. Let me find one of them.
There's
2022. So this is just some strawberries.
Yeah, put that up. And one thing I really was taken by her, and I definitely would like to try one of her pieces. I love her different finishing options, like her Fragments in Time. People have, and she does 8 in a collection. Some people finish them all individually, but then she also, for each one, provides a free chart with the border if you want to put them all together. Or I saw one, it was something called the Ladies Garden Journal, and it was maybe 6 to 8 different pieces all about flowers, but then she had them finished in this folding book. They were each finished as their own tile and then put together in this folding book, which to me was really appealing.
I need to find that one.
Yeah.
Carolyn was telling me about that. So we did both listen to her name is Beth Seal.
Oh, yeah.
She was interviewed on Fiber Talk a couple of years ago.
I think it's like 2022. I just searched for Fiber Talk Beth Seal, and I'll put her name down here, the spelling.
Yeah, and she explained how she has, she studied graphic design, and there were a lot of fine arts classes in her work, and she talked about how she learned how people see things, which we have some artists in our family, and they talked about similar things, and just basic design principles, and how once you know them, you see the world through them.
Yeah,
kind of, which I found interesting. And then she talked about how she started designing, talking to her friends and friends of friends, and then she started talking to her shops local to her in Pennsylvania and New York, and getting feedback from shop designers about like materials that are easy to access, or sort of what a range of stitchers might like, not what maybe would be her. Yeah, like you have to consider your own aesthetic, but also what lots of people will like. Although I wrote down a quote. She said, "If I don't love the design, it doesn't go out."
Yeah. I for anybody in this one interview had this, was I love hearing people's backstories. I love hearing about their process, what got them into it, what was their background, how did they get started and continue to grow, because she's been designing for a while, which is really cool.
She's done collaborations, she's taught classes, so I'd really like to have a chance to meet her or learn from her.
Yeah, that was neat.
And then she also mentioned that sometimes her sister model stitches for her, which I got a big kick out of. As much as I enjoyed learning about Beth Seal, I found the interview a little bit hard to listen to. I did not really feel like the interviewer, best way I can synthesize it was really learning from her. I felt like there was a little bit of telling to his guest, and that was a little bit hard for me to listen to. So I don't necessarily recommend this particular interview, and I haven't looked around too much for others. But
because I agree with Anna 100%. Like I feel like questions were not open-ended questions, and were not coming out of curiosity. But I learned a lot about her.
Yeah.
So
nice to hear her voice and get to know her.
I very quickly, I was like, ooh, with the interviewer. And I know this person has done a lot of interviews, but then I said, okay, just back off, Carolyn, and just see what you can learn from her listening to her.
Right.
So I had to sort of put that aside.
Right.
But
that was just our own personal experience.
But I might dig around and see if there's other places where she's interviewed or something like that. But I do love hearing people's stories so much.
And towards the end of the interview, she mentioned a small museum in Pennsylvania called the National Museum of the American Coverlet, and she says every year they sort of rotate a particular exhibition.
Let's put that on our list.
Yeah, it would be quite a drive for us, I think, but it
I have to look where that
is really appealing to me. I think she said it's housed in an old schoolhouse.
Oh, cool.
Something like that.
When we where Joan and I were on our matrilineal adventure, we went to two museum heritage centers, and the which one had it? Thinking. The Schwenkfelder in Pennsburg, Pennsylvania. They have beautiful coverlets there, and we could not stop thinking about how were these woven.
Well, you both have looms. Do you still have your loom?
Yeah, I may get back to that at some point. So I know Anna. So Anna brought this up, and thank you.
That was fun for me to, and I did order one of her pieces from Market, which I'll share in our next video.
Good.
And certainly there are many in her catalog. I'm like, okay, when I get curious about a designer like this, maybe I'll treat myself to maybe 3 things from that person's catalog or something like that.
That was after talking yesterday, that's one thing I put on my WIPGO board was explore a new designer and then buy a couple patterns from them. So I think I am going to go in and pick. I have to find. I felt like it was hard to see her full collection, so I have to kind of keep looking, and I think I might pick a couple as well.
I think I'm going to do the Susquehanna Valley ones, and maybe one of the minimalist ones.
One of her Fragments in Time that I saw, it was all together, all 8. It was an earlier one. It was based on shaker maps. And it was the 8, when you saw the 8 in collection, it was spectacular. And she said it was a really cool fragments because she went and she learned a lot. So part of these fragments, I think, come about of her own curiosity and exploration into thinking, like, how can I make a collection around a theme? So I think I'm going to maybe go back and do a couple of those or look at those. All right, so Kirsten, have you all stitched anything with Summer House Stitche Workes? I know she does a lot of collaborations with Kathy of Hands On Design. I think they've been doing those wrapped pillow fabric thing. Oh, okay.
Trio of pillows, and then with a cross stitch
wrap. All right, Anna, under Shift Supplies, Anna's got a bunch of nothing.
I know.
Do you really have a bunch of nothing?
Well, I did. Joan and I did go to a fabric store, and I got a little something, but didn't bring it.
When I was at the Endless Skein, again, it's a really nice yarn store in Cold Spring, which is in the Hudson Valley. I picked a few things. I picked that yarn for my Clyde shawl. I picked this yarn, and it is by Woolfolk, and it's a combination called Brise, B-R-I-S-E, and it is looking. Wait, where's the fiber?
Looks like linen. I thought I saw it on the very bottom of that where you were looking. It looks like a braid or something.
Yeah, it's it's merino and cotton, and it's like a tube. Anyway, I have a sweater. You've seen it tons of times. It's a blue sweater that I wear it from like March until October. I love the cut of it. It's super simple, and so I want to remake it, and I'm going to use this yarn. So it's kind of like a tape tube, but it's cotton and wool, and just kind of has a nice textured look. So I got my yarn for that sweater, and I'm going to start that sooner than later. I got this like really cute little pouch.
Gosh, that's so cute.
I've
seen that in the Ashland yarn store.
Maybe it's called Potluck Press. They had so many cute bags. And our maiden name is Fisher, so anything with fishes we are naturally drawn to. And then I'm working on some fingerless gloves projects, and they just had this beautiful yarn. The next, I'm making some gloves for Robin. And I'm still playing with colors. I have a couple of things I'm experimenting with, but this was a new to me yarn. It's British Breeds, and it's Marie Willen. And so I just really liked
really pretty colors.
Tweedy. So that was just something to add to sort of my palettes of what I'm playing with right now with that. So it's so fun to go into a yarn store. And every year I buy stuff there, and then when I go back, I wear something, like I wore a vest that I finished.
Did they recognize the yarn?
I tell them.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not going to be shy about this. I'm like, oh, last year I bought this yarn, and here's the vest I made with it. Because I figured when I worked in a yarn store, I love when you see so much yarn going out. It's fun to also see what's coming in. The other thing I got when I was on my trip in Beacon, New York, this is cute little store. It's called like Beetle and Fred and Beetle.
I think it's Beetle and Fred.
Beetle and Fred, and they've moved to a new location. And I was browsing through it, and I just saw this book, The Handmade Home. And I was just looking through the projects, and I kept going, oh, I would make that. Oh, I would make that. Like, I love these little coasters. And I'm like, no, I'm going to buy this book. There are enough things I like. And then I take it back. When I take it home, it's the book out. This woman, I love her stuff so much. It's a book out.
I've never heard it pronounced.
I'm going to put it right here. But in fact, I bought things from her. I love her style.
I have huge admiration for her.
Like here is a Sashiko table runner. So it was funny. I got it home. I'm like, yeah, Carolyn, of course you loved all the project. So one of my whip goes is to make something out of this book. And plus, it's so fun. Like even
Leave that out. I want to pick it
I know. Even like at the beginning, she talks about her materials. Or so even just like looking at that photo and reading this thing right here is a seam roller. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. The thing right here, she says when she's doing, it's like a seam roller. And so instead of having to get up and get your iron, she has a sewing machine. I'm like, yeah, hon, I'm getting that. Okay,
great.
So
that'll be fun.
Here we are. Thumbs up.
All right. My first thumbs up. Tiny houses.
Yeah.
I keep getting attracted to tiny houses. This has been for over a year.
Okay. Not like tiny houses to live in, but tiny houses.
No, you're thinking of like the tiny, like living in
a tiny house. Yeah.
I'm talking about the motif of a tiny house. One of my girlfriends made this for me for Christmas.
Oh, seriously?
So cute. I was in a really beautiful letterpress stationery store, and they had a couple of 3D houses. And then, we'll put up a picture. I do the art elective at school. So once everybody's settled, sometimes the room is silent. Everyone just gets super into what they're doing. So I usually sit there and collage. So I've been doing like watercolor wash and then cutting out a house, and then I've been sewing together these tiny little houses. I'm talking the garlands are only like this.
Why have you not brought those to show us?
Because they're taped to the wall at the little kids' table in my kitchen.
Oh, okay. Will you
grandkids.
send a picture?
I have a picture, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I've been into it. I don't know what else is going to come of that, but something's going to come of that.
Cool.
I've been into the market festivities. I chose a few market patterns. I just like the buzz of market.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care if I end up stitching these patterns or not that I ordered. I just think it's fun. I think the whole thing is fun.
Who did you order from?
I ordered from Lindy Stitches.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you watch her videos?
I watched some of her videos. I'm sure she's part of the reason why I think like market's so fun.
Yeah. She's done a really nice job. I mean, she puts a lot of effort into helping people see what's coming out at market.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be another trickle of, some of the new patterns here and there. But
Okay, so I can't wait to see what you ordered. Probably by the next video.
Yeah, I had my cart and then sort of had to reassess at the end. Delete. I had to delete a few. I did that on the trip. And then mango. I think this has been on my thumbs up before. One of my grandchildren loves mango, and it's really slippery, but she'll take half of a mango and I've been really into it. It's just so good.
Awesome. Good thumbs up. All right, my first thumbs up is the yarn that kept on giving. I had bought 2 skeins. In fact, our niece, whose baby is due any day, had picked this yarn out when she was visiting and for a baby hat. And this is said baby hat that I've shown you before, and I'll mail it to her once. I still have to block it, but once said baby is born. So I love this pattern. It's really great. It's a yarn that has both wool and cotton in it. Okay. So then my colleague at work tells me that she's having a baby. So I'm like, fantastic. The colors would work, and she's having a boy. The colors would work great. So I made a smaller infant hat for her. And then I was working on this when I was visiting my New York granddaughters, and the 3-year-old's like, I want a hat to match the new baby's hat. So I'm like, okay. And I knit her a hat, and here's a picture of her. It's kind of hard to see. She's wearing ski gloves and like going, but you can at least see that she has the hat on. So she's like, I'm going to be twinsies with the baby. So this yarn got me 3 hats for I made one for a 1-year-old size, one for a 6-month-old size, and one that fit a big old noggin of a 3.5-year-old. So thumbs up. That was really fun. And then I'm
great color combo.
That's just going to go in the garbage. I'm not going to use any more of that, but awesome. My next thumbs up, I've talked about her before. Her name is Jane, and she has a YouTube channel at Snapdragon Life. She puts out a Friday video. She lives in Scotland, and her videos are about, I'm going to say 20 minutes, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And it's almost like a video essay. So she has something she wants to talk about, and she talks about it for those 20-ish minutes. And every week I look forward to it, and every week she gives me something to think about. So I watch her pretty religiously around the Friday, but I've even gone back and watched some older ones. So you might want to give her a go and see, either watch her current one or go back and look at the titles and pick something that appeals to you. It's all about, all her videos are about creativity and crafting and her life as a creative. All right, the last thumbs up for me is just doing my laundry. My Smart Wool long underwear. All right, when you live in California, you do not have warm clothes. In fact, I specifically bought a pair of pants this year that reached my ankles to take with me on my trip. I wear this long underwear every single day I'm in New York, and I'm fine. I can wear like our lighter fabrics, whatever. Thank you, Smart Wool. It was funny, then when I met Joan and I was in Pennsylvania instead of New York, I didn't wear my long underwear, and I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit cold. So, Smart Wool, the best. That's it. Great.
Good
Awesome.
to be back.
It's good to be back.
1 hour, 8 minutes. It's so funny the way we're very consistent.
We're very consistent. I know.
No matter how much crafting we've done.
Sometimes we get together and we're like, how much have we done the last 2 weeks? But then we're always like, doesn't matter. What we have is what we have. And then we always seem to be about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. So it's good.
Okay.
I'm feeling the spring vibe. Are you feeling the spring vibe?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm feeling okay. So we're off to Michael's to go get some DMC for me.
And until next time,
Happy crafting
and stay curious.
Bye everybody.
See ya.